Hey everybody, Mr.G here. We're going to skip ahead with story time today. I've been talking about 1994 when I was about 14, but we'll skip ahead a couple years to 1996 when I was working with the San Antonio Express News. This is about the first time I ever got drunk. I smoked weed a bunch of times, years before that, but the very first time I got drunk I was about 16 and it happened at a drive-in movie theater in San Antonio, Texas. The movies that were playing was the Denzel Washington movie and The Submarine. I think Gene Hackman is in it, and then the original Friday movie as well was there as well. And this was when I was working with the San Antonio Express News. I was very good at this job. I worked there from the age of 14 to 18. I was the top salesman. I made the most money. I had all the sales records, most sales in a day, most sales in a week. And I made about, $200 to $500 a week commission every week, which is decent money when you're 14, 15, 16 years old. It was my very first job. I was very proud of it, beating all the sales records that thousands of kids couldn't do. But our piece of shit father would belittle us about it and lie to us. He'd tell our sisters, he's like, they're not selling newspaper subscriptions. They're just, stealing stuff. That John guy, he's just driving around having them steal stuff. Like what the fuck? What, you're fucking threatened by your 14-year-old son? But anyways, John Ronalds was actually a decent dude. He was the boss, and he had a family that in a nice neighborhood, but he drove this ghetto-ass van, and he would pick up all the newspaper kids at their houses. Normally, we came from broken homes and needed money, too. None of us were in school or anything, so traveling around South Texas wasn't that big of a deal. So he would pick us up at our homes, and I was the top salesman, so I got to ride in the front. I was also the crew leader. And John would actually take me to bars sometimes and be like, take my brother too, be like, these are my sons, they can drink. So I was actually drinking in bars at a very young age. But the very first time I got totally smashed drunk was at this drive-in movie theater. And so John Ronalds had the day off for whatever reason. He had some business to take care of. And so he had his previous top salesman, Mike Herrera, work for him. And Mike Herrera was actually just released from prison. But John lent him his van and was like, okay, yeah, pick up all the crew members, especially Greg, and, drive him to the particular neighborhood, sell some orders and this and that. And so he picks us all up and we're like, oh, the boss isn't here, we're all acting up and stuff. Then we start working for about an hour and nobody really feels like it. We're like, yeah, we don't really feel like working because John's not here, our boss isn't here. And so Mike's like, okay, how about we'll just go get some alcohol, buy you kids some alcohol, and then we'll go. He was like 21 years old. He was like, then we'll go to the drive-in. So he buys us alcohol. I get a Mad Dog 2020, a 40 ounce, and some Boone's Strawberry Hill. And none of us drank before, so we're all just chugging it down. And like, fucking by the time the movie's like halfway over, I'm smashed as fuck, just like hitting on Mike Herrera brought his girlfriend. I'm like hitting on his girlfriend, and then I'm like, just the best time ever. The best time, only time I ever enjoyed alcohol was the very first time. But I got so smashed on the way back, I'm just throwing up, blah blah blah. And then they dropped me off at my house, and like I couldn't control my throwing up, and like blah blah blah. And I was living at my shitty father's house. Then he woke me up. He started throwing me, just like woke me up, started saying, "What do you think you're doing, drinking?" He just used it as an excuse to beat me up. He's such a piece of shit. But hey, I hate my father, and that's not ever going to change. But that was the first time I got drunk.